He felt her recoil at the question. Her face darkened, and he immediately felt guilty. Guilty of spoiling the ineffable, idyllic space of the evening. She shook her head. No, not like this. Then she added, shall we go now? I need to rest. Nothing changed till a week later. Early in the morning, he stood before her door, a carton full of papers in his hands. She opened the door. Her eyes looked puffy. Can I come in? Yes. He went in and stood by the window, looking outside. He heard the bed spring groans as she sat on the bed. He sighed and turned around. He died on this bed. There was blood all over the sheets, and the only thing he thought of was you. Her shoulders began to shake as she cried. He went and sat beside her, putting his arm around her shoulder. After a long time, she stopped crying. He pointed at the carton. These are some of his papers. These are some of his papers. Nothing important. Later, they burned the papers together under the flame tree. She knelt before the fire, watching the flames rise and fall in the air, send up bits of black filmy sheets. He stood at the other end, at the other side, watching the tears in her eyes, and he thought, I hope someday, when I'm gone, someone will mourn for me like this. The woman in the back room. The visitor came in a car. He looked young, not more than 30. His youth became, and the fact that he spoke in English marked him out as a stranger. The local did not wear suits. Their preferred formal wear were kaftans and dashikis, whose loose, special fit worked very well against the heat. They sat out on the veranda. Inside was too hot. Recently, the sky had started darkening again with clouds. In the night, the air was heavy and motionless, which was a good sign because the strong blowing winds often chased away the rain clouds. I came from Zara, she said. The doctor said, she said you are a friend of ours. He spoke with a distinct Yoruba accent. Zara, said Mamo, his surprise showing. Where is she? Mamo looked away from the doctor's somber face. How true to type he had turned out to be despite his deceptive appearance. To the far end of the compound, near the outhouse, where Marina stood with a hoe in one hand and a weed in the other. She had been idly weeding the almost weedless compound all afternoon. A cluster of chickens followed her expectantly, pouncing on the worms unattended by her hoe. Mamo wondered what she might be thinking as she stood motionless, staring at the weed and obviously not seeing it. He had read somewhere about science and their interpretations, how in some Asian theater, but of course, one needed to be trained in its semiotics, like a person staring absently at a weed for minutes. Perhaps she was thinking about her life, her wicked ex-husband, the children she had never had, all that could have been, all that had shriveled up like the weed in her hand. Mamo, a harbinger of doom. Was that why he was clad in black? I just came from her. Her family contacted me last week. They had been referred to me by another doctor that they had been seeing for almost 2 months now. I have a practice in the capital, and this is the second time I have seen her. The first time she was brought to my clinic, she wouldn't even speak to me. She just huddled in a corner and sobbed. And then she suddenly turned and went on and all about her son. She believed he is in some kind of danger and that she is to blame for neglecting him. I recommended that they take her somewhere peaceful, where she would be calmed by the surroundings. So they brought her here to Ketty. It has already started working. You are the only person she has communicated. Let me know what you think she is trying to tell you. Perhaps some secret message that only you might understand. Here is my card. Mamo walked the doctor out to his car. Before he left, the doctor reluctantly allowed a smile to contaminate his somber expression. He said thoughtfully, the mind is a fragile sensitive thing, Mr. Lamang. It takes only a little nudge to damage it, but it also has incredible regenerative abilities. Look at all the odds we go through every day and still manage to maintain our sanity. All we need is a little peg. He imagines Zara penning the words, making corrections, crossing out whole sentences and pages. He read, but he found no secret messages. Frustrated, he closed the notebook. And that was when he noticed the epigraph. He had not read it before going into the story. Now, he noticed that the ink in the epigraph was fresher, the writing frailer. He was sure it had been written not long ago, most probably today. He smiled as he read the familiar quote. And appeared undecided for a while, but just for a while. Then it recomposed itself. As she opened her mouth to speak, another person appeared. The same face, the same attitude, but shorter, stouter, and older. The mother. She looked at Mamo but addressed herself to her daughter. Who is he? He says he wants to see Zara. I heard that. Who is he? My name is Mamo. I am. He was not sure how to introduce himself. I am a teacher. I used to be. We taught at the same school. I heard that Zara is not with her family. They sat in silence, the mother beside him, staring forward, not talking to him, and occasionally turning to the children when they got too loud, telling them to shut up. Mamo sat with his legs straight before him, and he arranged. The minutes passed, out pink, and had attached some prosthetic to their noses to make them straighter. This heightened verisimilitude, especially since the audience could not easily recognize the actors behind the disguise. Beside him, Bintu was clapping loudly, her eyes shining. He felt happy to see her so at ease. He felt a nudge to his right and he turned. Kai was pointing at something in the text on the last page. He bent closer and he saw that it was his name, by Mamo Lamang. And suddenly, what had been nagging him since he had first seen the script became clear. This was a copy from the original he had written to do them as if we are just killing time. The crowd cheered Zara, and this time no one would deny him access to